Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reality Theory podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the El Paso shooting and the Dayton, Ohio shooting. Stay tuned. So, what was this, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago? They had the shooting over in, well, first was El Paso in the Walmart, I think, and then the second one was in Dayton, Ohio. Apparently Biden doesn't know that because he said thoughts and prayers to Houston and Michigan.
Guy's
Dumb fuck.
such a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
I know. But a lot of people have not been talking about the Dayton, Ohio shooting, and it's funny how, that guy that went on that rampage in the bar was a registered Democrat, followed Bernie Sanders, was a Warren Elizabeth supporter, a white guy shooting a bunch of other white people, including his own sister.
Yeah.
But they don't. But have you seen any coverage about that on the news?
No.
Honestly,
No, not really. I mean, just when things
when it first happened.
when things first happened. I mean, they were all talking about it for maybe a day, maybe tops 2 days.
Yeah.
And then it all just kind of.
And guess how he was stopped? A guy with a gun.
Imagine that.
I know. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But,
I mean.
And the El Paso guy, I don't know how the hell he got out of there alive. I mean, they took him into custody. That dude's still alive. It's weird that he killed, well, I think 20 people, and the guy in Dayton, Ohio killed 9.
Well, I mean.
And apparently there were people in that Walmart with guns, and no one stopped them.
So, from what I've heard, and I don't know how much truth there is to it or not, but it was my understanding that Walmart was a gun-free zone. They had signs posted, no firearms. So
Really?
if a business has signs posted, no firearms or whatever, obviously you can't bring your legal weapons.
I just thought Walmart was
into Walmart,
because I know Walmart's over here you can carry inside.
It
I just thought Walmart was.
It probably depends.
One law per, for the store. It's the law everywhere.
No, I mean I guess it's got to be different.
Especially in Texas.
Well, but from what I understood, there were a lot of people that said, like there was this one guy that did an interview on. He said, "Man, I wish I'd had my pistol."
Well, there was that one guy, the black guy, who said his mom usually carries one.
Yeah,
she had a snub nose or something.
Yeah.
And he goes, that one day she took it out of her purse, and he goes, she was there. I ran up to her.
Yeah.
Looked in her purse. She goes, I left it at home. He goes, I wish she had it on her. And that was on CNN. You can tell that the reporters were like
cringing.
They're like, oh shit, dude, shut up. Like, that's not what we want to say.
Yeah.
We don't want people to know that we could have stopped this guy with another gun.
Well, I mean,
if
you think about it, I mean, and what a lot of people don't realize is, everybody wants to talk about how, well, we shouldn't, no guns or limited guns or whatever, let the police do their job. Well, guess what? Police don't prevent crime. They're just there to document a crime that's already occurred and to clean up the mess after the fact. Most police officers, I mean, if they're lucky enough to get there in time, if they get a call and they're lucky enough to get there in time while the crime is in progress, then they can do something to stop it. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the way that it goes. They get the call after the fact, after the crime has been committed.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't do anything legally. A police officer cannot do anything if someone has not committed a crime yet. Just because they say they're going to commit a crime or because somebody thinks they're going to commit a crime, they can't legally go over there and stop them or prevent them from doing what somebody said that they might do. They can only do something after the crime has been committed. So, the best way to handle situations like this is for law-abiding citizens to be armed and ready to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. I mean, the only way to stop someone with a gun is someone with a gun.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable leaving the government in charge to tell me or leaving them in charge to protect me. I'd rather do it myself.
No, because they can't.
And they can't protect you.
But that's the thing. They cannot protect you. They can't. By law, they can't. They cannot prevent somebody from doing something based on
hearsay.
Based on, well, so-and-so said that they were going to do this, So
They can look into it, but that's as much as
they
they can
haven't
do.
done it yet.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand, is that they can't do anything
I mean,
to
if some
prevent
kid
it.
says, "Hey, I'm gonna go shoot up the school tomorrow," they're gonna email the parents. They're gonna say, "Hey, look, we had a threat at the school. They may have an extra couple cops there. Keep
They'll
an eye out."
yeah,
They'll grab that kid, and be like, "Hey, why'd you post this on social media?"
yeah, they'll absolutely look
Yeah, I mean,
into
they'll
it.
look into it, but they can't arrest the kid. I mean,
He did nothing.
yeah.
He did nothing illegal. He did nothing wrong.
I mean, they'll definitely talk to the kid and talk to his parents and probably suspend him for a while. But I mean, if the kid really wants to, I mean, most of the time, if these kids want to shoot up a school or do something wrong, they're not going to post about it. They want to go in there as a surprise.
Yes,
That's how it usually goes.
and that's what
They're not going to give themselves up like that.
But that's the other thing that a lot of people don't seem to grasp is that they're talking about banning all these weapons, all these firearms because they look mean or they look intimidating or whatever. But you know what? To be honest, if somebody wanted to commit a mass murder or kill a bunch of people at once or whatever the case is, a firearm is not the most effective way to do that. And there are many other ways to accomplish that goal. And if that individual really wants to do that kind of harm to a bunch of people, they're gonna do it, whether they have a firearm or not.
Well, look at Timothy McVeigh.
That's what I'm saying.
He had a what was it, a van or a truck, fertilizer, gasoline, and some other shit. Killed what was it, 168 people, injured 500 more, and took down 3/4 of a freaking government building.
That's my
Simple.
point.
And he walked away scot free. I mean, he got caught, but he didn't get hurt. He just walked away. Boom.
Yeah.
Dead.
But that's my point is
Not
that
a single shot fired.
it's not about it. This has nothing to do with guns. It has nothing to do with the tool used to commit the crime. What it has to do with is the individual and their state of mind and their intent to kill people and harm people. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with the weapons or the tool that's used to commit the crime, because you can use anything
Like I
at
said,
all.
look at France a year and a half ago, 2017. Guy rented a van, plowed into a shitload of people, killed 68.
Well,
I think he injured over 200 more. It's like, come on.
Well,
That's a way more effective way of hurting somebody.
look at the World Trade Centers. That's a prime example.
Airplanes.
Massive devastation, and they didn't use a gun at all.
They had box cutters.
Not
apparently.
not one firearm was used to kill how many thousands of people?
It was close to 3,000 people.
3,000 people. I mean, you really think a firearm is the most effective way to commit these crimes? No. So why are you going to punish law-abiding citizens and take their right away, to protect themselves?
Well, like that post you just had, it said, how to stop drunk drivers from killing sober drivers.
Oh yeah, let's take the cars away from the sober
Let's
driver.
take the cars away from the sober drivers so sober people don't get killed anymore. It's like, what,
And people are
you're
idiots.
you're punishing the majority for the crimes of fractions upon fractions of the minorities out there that just that are mentally unstable. They just want to hurt people.
Yes.
That's all it is. I mean, they're going to do it regardless of what you do. Take their guns away, fine. I'll grab this knife and I'll just go run around somewhere and just start stabbing people.
Yeah, there was that. What was that?
In
days later.
It was in California.
California of all places.
He stabbed 6 people, killed 4 of them. That's considered a mass stabbing. Where are all these people advocating for knife confiscation? They're not around.
Well, we better get these assault knives off the street, man.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's like,
idiots.
come on.
Fucking idiots, man.
But anyway, back to the El Paso.
Yeah, sorry.
You had
Got a little
no,
off
which
topic.
is fine. But you had this kid from I think he was 21, came down from Dallas, drove down from Dallas to El Paso, and in his manifesto that was found online, I think he posted it or he had it on his house. He literally said, "This is not. I don't blame this on Trump. Don't blame this on Obama. I'm doing this on my own personal will." He goes, "This has nothing to do with the government and has nothing to do with politicians. I'm doing this because this is how I felt for a long time."
No, this guy.
I mean, that tells you right there. He had an agenda. He wanted to do something, and he got it done.
He had extreme hate for Hispanics. I'm guessing, right? It was a racially
Yeah, and the thing
motivated
was,
crime,
a lot
right?
of these Hispanics that were here, these are third, fourth generation Hispanics that came from Mexico, from other countries. So it's not like he was even trying to
Yeah, I think
kill. It's not like he was even trying to kill illegals that came over. He just hated Hispanics in general.
Well, I think there were what, like seven? I think it was seven Mexican nationalists.
It was two, and then Mexico wanted to come over and try and file suits or try to. They wanted to take legal action against the United States for two of their nationals getting killed. First of all, you have 33 plus thousand deaths a year from gangs, from homicides, from everything, and two of your guys die over here, and you want to come over here and tell us what, we're fucked up?
Not only that, but how many Americans have been killed in Mexico?
Oh, they go on their vacation. They get
due to gang violence.
They get beheaded. Their kids get kidnapped. They get put in the freaking sex rings. I mean, come on.
But not only that, so I guess maybe it was two. I heard it was,
I heard two.
I heard it was seven.
Regardless of how many it was, they have no right to tell us that
No.
we're a problem.
But the point was that it was a racially motivated hate crime. Basically, is what it was. This guy was he knew exactly what. And if any of you are from Texas, you know that the drive from Dallas to El Paso is not a short drive. That's a long drive. So, I mean, for somebody
He was
to have
committed.
thought about this, planned it out, and make the drive there, and still stay committed to it when he got there and commit this crime, that takes a lot of hate, a lot of
mental
yes.
instability.
This guy was not in his right mind,
Mm-mm.
you know. And you hear people all the time talk about how, well, this isn't a mental health issue. If you kill somebody, for no good reason,
You have a mental disorder.
you are mentally unstable. Nobody, no killing that I can think of ever was committed
Aside from self-defense.
was committed by a sane person unless it was a self-defense act.
Mm-hmm.
Sane people just don't go around killing people. I don't care what your motivation is, whether it's hate, whether you think that they're harming you because you're fucked up in the head, whatever the case is, it's still a mental disorder. You're mentally unstable, severely mentally unstable. I mean,
Well, they've done scans. They've even shown on TV. They've done scans of people in jail or prison that have killed people, and they've done scans of people that are in jail for like theft or minor crimes that weren't violent at all.
right?
The brain scans are completely different.
Yeah,
It's two completely different spectrums. They've got. I don't know how to explain it, but they show that there's something different with a murderer's brain. They're not all there.
Imagine
Something is
that.
wrong with them. It's a fucking mental issue, and taking guns away from the people that, I mean, they're trying to sit there and blame the NRA. Not one member of the NRA since they've been established has gone out and killed anybody out of
no.
out of hate, out of just to do it. If anything, it's been out of self-defense.
Yeah, and that was my point. You know, no sane person goes around killing people unless they're in fear for their life, unless they're basically forced to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I'll be damned if I'm going to have someone sit there with a gun and try to, take me out. It's like, fuck it. My life is more important than yours at that point.
well, you also have to think too. I mean, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, I mean, at that point, what do you have to lose? Because chances are they're probably going to shoot you regardless. So you might as well at least try to fight back.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, at that point, they've lost their choice to live. They've lost their privilege.
Absolutely, they've lost all rights.
Mm-hmm. Which goes off to another point in a way. Bernie Sanders wanted to give all prisoners, even people on death row, the right to vote.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, because someone wants votes,
Yeah.
even though they're never going to get out of fucking prison.
The way that I look at it, and whether it's legal or not, but the way that I look at it is, as soon as you commit a crime, you've lost your rights. You have no rights. If you've been convicted of a crime, you don't have any rights. You should be given just enough food to survive for the day, stuck in a fucking room with nothing, no TV, no fucking outside, no nothing.
Yeah, because those rights that were given to you came with laws to follow.
Exactly.
It
You
came
chose
with
not.
rules. You get the right.
Yep.
You get the right of freedom. You get the right of speech. You get the right of, to bear arms. But once you break one of those rules, that right's taken away from you.
Exactly.
Tough shit.
You have no
You
rights.
you made your choice. You saw the consequences. It's,
Yep.
it's a contract. You looked at it. Okay, you signed off on it, and then you fucking did something against that contract. Guess what? That contract is now void.
Exactly.
Now your rights are gone. You sit in prison for as long as they need you to, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Our prison system's a joke.
Yeah. But anyway, so the El Paso was racially, motivated. Obviously, this guy's got a mental issue. He's still alive. He's in prison. Dayton, Ohio, they're not talking about this one on the news. Because there was a white guy who went to
Killing white people.
killing white people in the club, who killed his own sister, and the guy was taken out by a cop that I think was walking the street or was nearby. He went out and shot the guy within 30 seconds of him shooting.
Well,
Took him out.
the reason that nobody's talking about this because on many points, it fits no one's agenda.
Because he was a Democrat. He was, like I said, he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He followed Elizabeth Warren. He was a climate change freaking fanatic. So, of course, they see that, they go, oh, shit, well, that goes against what we said, so
Not
let's
only
not
that,
bring
I
it
mean,
up.
just the fact that it's a white guy killing white people, right?
There's no race there. There's nothing racially
Right
motivated
there,
against that.
there's no racial motivation. So, bam, that doesn't fit your narrative. Then I'm just assuming here, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it was a white cop that shot this white guy.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know because they're not bringing it up.
I'm sure they're not, but the thing, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that that's the case. I mean, it's fucking Ohio.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say that it was a white cop that shot a white suspect. So that doesn't fit anybody's narrative. So, on every single point, it doesn't fit anyone's narrative. So they're not gonna talk about it.
Of course.
The only thing that it fits with their agenda
Is the gun control.
is the gun control
That's
aspect of it, and the fact that it was a mass shooting, plain and simple. But other than that, none of the other facts fit their agenda. So there's no sense in dragging it out. Okay, we'll report it for a day or two, and then it is what it is. We can't milk anything else out of it, so we're just gonna let it go.
Well, no, and plus all these Democrats that are, presidential candidates were too busy going and politicizing themselves, taking pictures with these victims, acting like they cared.
Of course,
It's like,
it's sickening.
And it's like they're looking at the camera like, okay, are you watching? You're getting this? Okay, look, I'm going next to this kid.
It's so.
And then when Trump goes and does it like a week later, oh, he's just doing this because he wants attention. He doesn't fucking need attention. He's the fucking president. That
Trust
guy
me,
gets more attention than anybody in the entire fucking world. He doesn't need
Yeah.
publicity.
He's probably got more attention than he wants right now.
Yeah, he doesn't want any more attention. He does more than people know, and then they don't even document it. The
But-
money he gives out, the shit that he does, it's like, give me a fucking break. The guy wanted attention. Trust me, he would get on Twitter and say something stupid if he wanted attention, but he already does that. He doesn't need it.
Yeah. No,
Leave the fucking guy alone.
the whole thing is sick. It's all sick. I mean,
But like I said, but this goes right back to before. The guy killed 6 people, or stabbed 6 people with a knife, killed 4 of them. Drunk drivers kill innocent people every day. They blame the driver and the alcohol in the drunk driving deaths. They blame the guy in the knife stabbing. But when it comes to the gun's automatically at fault.
here,
They always blame the tool. When it comes to the gun, no, it was the gun's fault.
I'll do you one better. All these police shootings, they blame the cop or they blame the gun?
They blame the cop.
They blame the fucking cop. So why is it the cop is responsible, but these fucking people aren't responsible for their actions?
Yeah.
Why do you blame the gun? So should we all just assume now that it's the guns are pulling themselves out of the police officer's holster and firing on their own at these poor defenseless criminals? I mean, let's get real here.
It's not going to work.
They're so hypocritical. It's unbelievable.
And I guarantee you, all these presidential candidates that are never going to be fucking president, what do all their armed bodyguards have? AR-15s, 9mm on their
Oh, yeah.
sides, body armor. They've got the same shit that we've got.
It's easy to talk about gun control when you're basically being protected by a small army. I mean,
By fucking Secret Service guys for the most part.
mean,
it's a
Jesus.
fucking joke. And it's the other thing to talk about guns when these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know what the difference between fully automatic, semi-automatic, a 9mm, they don't know the difference between a fucking revolver, pistol, nothing. They don't know the difference between shit. I've heard people say full semi-automatic.
No such
There's
thing.
no such fucking thing. You pull the trigger once, a bullet comes out. They go, well, we need to get rid of all semi-automatic weapons. Okay, so you want to get rid of handguns? No, handguns are good.
Well,
That's a semi-automatic weapon.
they fire at the same rate as an AR-15
And,
or any other, or a hunting rifle.
and if
any,
you see, yeah,
any other semi-automatic, they fire at the same fucking rate.
and anyone that's good with handguns out there can shoot that gun just as fast as a fucking rifle. And if anything, what can you maneuver with quicker? A rifle or a pistol? You can maneuver faster with a pistol. You can hide it. So if I wanted to sneak into a Walmart and start shooting people up, I'm not going to walk in there with a fucking AR-15 and body armor. I'm going to put a gun in my waist, a handgun, with the same amount of magazines. I can do just as much damage, if not more.
Exactly.
Because no one's going to see me coming. It's going to be a total surprise.
That's it. But these people, the people that are fighting for all this shit, they don't use common sense. They don't use logic. They don't think about these things in a logical way. They have an agenda. They're out to do one thing.
Get your votes.
Well, no, not just that.
That's one of the main.
But I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the citizens out there that are fighting for this shit and that are protesting over this kind of crap. They're out for one thing. They want to take your guns. Plain and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be misunderstood. They want your guns. I keep hearing this all the time. Well, we don't want to take your guns. Bullshit. If you didn't want to take our guns, none of this would even be an issue. None of this would even be an issue. We'd all be going about our merry way. Shit happens. You deal with it. You find a way to correct the problem that doesn't infringe on other people's rights, and you move on. But we wouldn't even be talking about gun control or gun laws or anything even regarding the Second Amendment if that wasn't the issue. The fact is they want your guns, plain and simple. They want to take them. Maybe not be today. It's going to be a slow process. They're going to start with, well, let's put in
certain
some
size magazines. Then it's going to go, okay, you can only have. They're going to create. Okay, you can only have 3 bullets in your magazine. You can only have this. You can only have that. Next thing you know, okay, any gun made by this manufacturer, which we've deemed unnecessary, these are gone. Slowly and surely, they're going to take your shit away. And then it's going to come down to an Australia thing where, okay, we're buying your shit back.
So how can you buy something back if you never owned it to begin with?
Yeah, it wasn't their gun to begin with, so they're going to buy it back off you.
It's not a fucking buyback. It's a gun confiscation, and they will take them. Because, let's say that they put in a gun buyback program, okay? They call it a gun buyback program. What if I say, no, I don't want to sell you my gun? Okay, well, then we're going to take it.
And what are they going to use to come to your house and take it with?
Another fucking weapon.
Another fucking gun that the government's going to own. So that way, when the government wants to take over, slowly and surely, like they did in, let's say, Germany, let's say maybe 30, back in 39.
But that's a good point, because I hear this all the time as well. Well, why do you think, the government's not going to be, the government's not tyrannical. They're not going to come take all your guns. It's not going to be, something like the Holocaust will never happen again, blah, blah, blah. How the fuck do you know? Do you see the way shit's going right now? It's going to get to that point, because it starts now. I mean, how do you think they started? How do you think all that shit got started? The first thing they did, disarm the fucking citizens. What do you think's going on right now? They're trying to disarm the citizens.
Well, why do you think the United States became the United States in the first place? We left the tyrannical government over in England, and we came here for our freedoms. If you want a gun-free zone, if you want to live in a country where there's no fucking guns, move out of the fucking country. But this country was founded on the amendments, on the rights to freedom, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But all these Democrats are trying to take your fucking guns away.
But hey, don't be mistaken though. It's not just the fucking Democrats.
Well, I know it's a lot of. I mean, well, actually, a lot more Republicans now are for gun control, and
they are starting to come out of the fucking woodworks.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and this is just my opinion. I don't trust either fucking side. I don't care for either fucking one of them. But they're both out to get your shit, because what is the ultimate goal?
Control.
Power.
Yeah.
They want power. And how can you control the citizens if the citizens are armed? You can't. First step, disarm the citizens.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And that's the way that it's going. On both sides. They're both lobbying for gun control. Both of them. And maybe in different ways, but they're both going about their end game is the same on both sides.
Well, they want a socialist economy.
Well, look at okay.
That's what that's like their main thing. They want a socialist government. And obviously, look at Venezuela. They went to a socialist government. The first thing was, what are we doing? Taking your guns away. Then we're going to tax you a shitload. We're going to tell you how to spend your money. Now they're over there fighting against the government, which they never thought would happen. The government's got tanks, they've got guns, they've got trucks, they've got
Imagine that.
everything. And what do the citizens have? Rocks and fucking sticks.
Yep.
And they're dying left and right.
I'm telling you guys, it's a fucking slippery slope. Do not let the fucking government control your life. Do not.
They
let
control enough of it as it is.
Yeah, they need to control a lot less. But
Mhm.
let's not give them any more power. That's just what they want.
I mean,
They want more power because they think that they can run your life better than you can.
Tell me where anywhere in history where that's worked out for the citizens of that country. Nowhere.
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 Please, if you can think of one, put it in the comments.
And
I can't.
honestly, I mean, look at the Native Americans. What did the government do to them? We're gonna give you all this. We're not gonna hurt you. This and that. Went in there, fucking killed them, raped them, took all their shit. Now they gave them the worst plots of land. They treated them like shit. They took all their freedoms away. Their freedom of religion, freedom of everything. They took away their fucking culture.
They did it to the Native Americans. Hey, when they freed the slaves, they promised them what? 10 acres and a mule or some shit like that? You ever get that? Nope. See how well that worked out for you? But you're gonna give them more power, give them more money because you think that they can do better for you?
Well, like I said,
They've got a pretty shitty track record.
Well, like I said,
I mean, let me tell you.
like this goes back in a kind of a way. Look at these people that say Trump is a Nazi. He's Hitler. Okay, if that's the case, you want everyone to give their guns to this guy and the people and the people that work for him.
Yeah.
So you want Hitler to be in control of you? Think about it.
Fucking
Come
idiots.
on.
Fucking idiots.
You like Hitler? Did you like what he did? Then keep your shit to yourself. Don't give him any more control. Don't give him your weapons. Fuck people.
Use your brain, okay?
They don't have a fucking brain anymore. They're letting the government tell them how to think.
Well,
Most of them.
Well, that's a whole other issue. We can go on about the education system and all that kind of crap, but we'll save that for another episode. But if you can name one time in American history where the government did right by you, name one. Leave it in the comments. I doubt you can. It never happened ever. I mean, seriously.
Well, except when we were founded, they gave us our rights. That was the one thing they did for us. Now we have these new people trying to take them away.
Yep.
It's a fucking amendment. It's not there to be, oh well, we'll see. Maybe we'll remove it. No, it's fucking there. It's done.
It's a right. It's in the Bill of Rights was created for a reason.
You know how much? You know what the process is to get one of those removed or to amend one of those? No, fucking leave it alone. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. We have people coming here in the masses. Not because we're a fucking shitty country, because we're one of the greatest countries in the world. If they didn't like us, they would stay over there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it.
Nobody's coming over here because it's a shitty country. Because
we're oppressed.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, you've got people flocking here from all over the world because it's a better way of life.
You got people taking their citizenships exams, finally getting their citizenships, crying because they're so happy to finally say that they're an American citizen. That's what they say. That's one of the greatest moments of their lives. What other country can you go to and say that?
But the more we continue to take rights away from the people, and that includes the First Amendment too. All these, and the First Amendment says it also that Congress shall make no law to stop the freedom of speech or whatever the fuck it says. But yet there are laws on the books restricting what you can and can't say. It doesn't matter how offensive, how vulgar, how hurtful the speech is. It's your right to say it, regardless. If you want to yell fucking gun or bomb in a fucking movie theater, that's your fucking right as an American. Don't let them take that away from you. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It's a shitty thing to do, but you know what?
And it causes fucking panic and people can get hurt.
But it's your right to fucking say it. It's your right to fucking do it. These rights did not come with strings attached. They didn't come with fucking, well, yeah, you can, freedom of speech, but, no, there is no but in the fucking amendment. There's no but. You have the right to free speech, plain and simple, period. The same way that you have a right to keep and bear arms. Period. Plain and simple.
Those 3 words: freedom of speech.
It's your fucking
it's
right.
Your freedom.
If I want to own a fucking tank, I should be able to own a fucking tank. If I want to own an F-15, if I had the money for it, I should be able to own a fucking F-15. That's the point. It's your fucking right to own, to keep and bear arms, to protect yourself against a tyrannical government. How can you protect yourself against a tyrannical government who has jets and tanks and bazookas or whatever the fuck they've got, if you're not allowed to have the same fucking equipment? How can you protect yourself from a government that has all that shit?
And the people who wrote this were the ones in control of the country. They wrote it to say, if we ever get out of control and try to come after our citizens, you have the right to try to get, you have the right,
stop us.
You have the right to stop us. So I mean, they knew what the fuck they were doing. They wrote it against themselves. Hey, if we ever fuck up, you guys can do what you need to do to protect yourselves against us.
That's the reason it was created.
Mm-hmm.
That is the sole reason that it was created. The fact that you can protect yourself against a burglar or a carjacker or whatever, that's just a bonus. Mm-hmm. But the main point of the Second Amendment was to protect you from the government itself. And now you want to allow the government to tell you what guns you can and cannot have, that it takes, that you have to go through a long fucking process just to buy a firearm, or that you can only have so many rounds of ammunition, or that you can only have a magazine that holds so many rounds of ammunition. Fuck that. Who are they to tell you? They're not there to govern the Second Amendment.
Mm-mm.
They're there to uphold it, to allow you to have whatever the fuck you want to have, to be able to fight against them when they get out of control like they are doing right now.
They're supposed to be there for the people, but what they're doing is they're dividing us and trying to get us and trying to take our rights away. That's the bottom line.
Divide and conquer.
Yep.
Look at your history books. It's been done time and time again. Don't let it happen here.
And not your liberal college history books either.
No.
Real history.
Go to a fucking library, a real library.
Yeah, and look stuff up yourself. Do your own research. Don't listen to these people trying to tell you any different.
Anyways, guys, looks like we're out of time. Sorry, we kind of got a little off topic there.
We could have gone for a lot longer.
But I get a little heated when it comes to topics of the
gun control.
Yeah. So, and American rights. But anyways, hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment.
And join us next week.
Join us next week.
Bye.
Bye.